Shenanigans, truth, lies, shenanigans, shenanigans, truth, lies, shenanigans, truth, lies, shenanigans, truth, lies, shenanigans. Tune in to TLS, yeah, tune in to TLS. It's the TLS show, coming to you live from the TLS show.
What's up? Welcome to the Truth Lies Shenanigans podcast. Social commentary, hot topics, amazing guests with a ton of fun and shenanigans along the way. This week's show, we've got all hot topics. First up, we're diving into Elon Musk and Neuralink's monkey business. Is it groundbreaking science or just plain cruel? And Gianni's got us talking about a tragic daycare death in the Bronx. What's really going on with the drug epidemic? And last but not least, Rob's asking the big question, is it art or is it theft? A Danish artist is pushing the boundaries and we're here to debate it. If you're stopping in for the first time, we record live every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch TV, TruthLiesShenanigans.com. And we do the show live because we want your questions and comments to help drive the conversation. So get to YouTube, Facebook, at TLSLiveShow and start typing in your comments and questions. If you're listening to the official podcast, make sure you download new episodes every Friday. But we only have one more episode left until our season ends. So make sure you don't miss an episode. Let me introduce you to my co-hosts. First up today, we have the nature lover, the gamer, the rock star from Fallen Machine, coming to you from Ontario, Canada, Rob B. Rob.
Man, we're going to have to get you like one of those ring announcement gigs. So you just keep getting better at this hype thing.
He's good.
Right?
You guys are funny.
Happy Wednesday, my friends. It's good to be back for another round of rousing discussion. And
Yes.
I was reacquainted with the fact that I'm an early morning, or like an early to bed, early to rise kind of guy last week. I'm still working with the group of filmmakers for the Glimpses of Grim Horror Anthology project. And we had a shoot
the movie you're working on
Friday.
Yeah.
It's an anthology of micro horrors. Yeah.
Micro horror films. Yeah.
So,
Series.
yeah. So we did an outdoor shoot where we needed everything to be very dark. So we were on site for 7 and started shooting at around maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. And I didn't get home till about 2 a.m.
Ooh.
And the rest of the weekend was like zombie for me. But it didn't
You're
stop
an
us
old
from
man,
celebrating. I know. See, and speaking of getting older, I was just saying, it did not stop me from helping celebrate my wife's birthday over the weekend with
Yes.
So, yeah.
Happy birthday, Joe. Happy birthday, Jose.
Yeah.
We
It was
love you
nice.
over
Got
here,
together with
Joe.
family, and it was just it was wonderful little gatherings of just loved ones.
Yeah.
We love that.
Yeah,
Nice.
Jose. So I won't ask how old she is because I always ask.
No, don't ask women that. Just know they
You
had
can
a
ask-
wholesome time.
It's funny.
Yeah,
It's
good.
funny whenever we do sing Happy Birthday, I'm always the one who makes sure we go. Oh,
Oh,
that's me.
and Johnny, I mean, come on, man. It's a badge of honor. It really is.
It
It's
is.
one more year aboard Starship Earth. And when people lie about their age, I love ripping on them for that. Oh, I'm 39. Really? You look like hell for 39. You look amazing for 45, but for 39, you look great. You look awesome. 45, you look great. 39,
Shut
no,
up.
not bad. Oh,
Do
I
not
am
do
that
that to
guy.
people.
Come
Yeah,
on,
Rob,
man.
Oh
Rob
my
is that
God.
guy.
I am
He
that
is.
guy.
I believe it.
All
I say it
right.
with love.
All right, next up, our young, vibrant model business owner streaming from Atlanta, Georgia, Gianni Storm.
Hey guys, I've missed you so. This week is interesting. Actually, I've rescued 2 kittens that I'm very proud. I'm very proud to
You
announce.
rescued them, so like they're like in your possession, rescued.
No. I helped get them rescued.
Okay,
Yeah, that sounds
You
that
helped
sounds about
rehome.
right.
You helped home them. Okay, that's awesome.
No again. I got them brought to a rescue because, long story short, there was a neighbor who I think was dying in their home actually. And
Mm.
a wellness check came to check on them and found that he was in his home, took him to the hospital. He's been gone for like 2 weeks, but there
Mm.
were two baby
Oh
kittens in
my.
his home the whole time. Yeah.
Oh.
Just trying to claw out of the window because they were
Aw.
starving and probably thirsty. So
Johnny, you
So you
I
rescued
absolutely
them
captured them.
rescued
from.
them. Don't diminish your, yeah, no, that's awesome. You
Yeah.
helped find a home for them just by
Oh,
getting in
yeah.
with animal rescue. That's
Yeah, I
amazing.
did. Oh, yeah. Everybody was, that's what I wanted to tell you guys. Is it me, or when you're doing the right thing, people are like mad about it or mean about it? Because people were like, oh, let it go. You're gonna cause problems within the neighborhood. Even the property manager was so mad and like, yeah, we're gonna handle it. Just don't worry about it. And I'm like, but they're literally clawing out the window. One fell and disappeared. Like, they needed help.
Yeah.
So be
No, you
nice
did
to
the right
people that are trying
thing.
to do the right thing. Yeah, I was just trying to help them, and ended up they got help. So
I,
good thing happened.
Yeah.
me, I wouldn't care one way or the other. They can. I'm gonna do what I think is right anyway. I'm bad. I mean, I generally do the
Yeah,
right
I
thing.
would have
Mm.
told them.
I
I would have taken the cats.
generally
I
take into
couldn't.
account certain things. I think you did a good job.
Yeah,
Thank
you did
you.
good.
I think so.
You did good.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
saved some lives.
All right. And I am your host, Leo Nitz. So I have a question. Have either of you
Mania.
guys watched the show Foundation on Apple TV? The series?
Never.
No.
It's
No, absolutely
really
not.
good. I mean, I'm a sci-fi. I don't know. I get caught up in sci-fi, so it's got me hooked. It's in season 2 right now, but it's all about the collapse of this like galactic empire, and this mathematician has figured out how to shorten the dark age after
Okay.
the collapse of the empire, because it's inevitable, right? The fall of the empire, but
Mm.
they want to make sure they shorten it as much as possible. And so he's figured out how to
So
do
more
that. And so
people.
it's all this science and science fiction and all that. It's based on some books by Isaac Asimov,
Okay.
who was a
Interesting.
great
Okay.
science fiction. I don't read books very often. My wife she gets on me all the time because I am not a book reader, but I did
Not a
read
reader.
Isaac Asimov, a few of his
So you like
books.
fiction. So you
Well,
Science
like
fiction.
you're
that's
more of a fiction and
Yeah, oh,
fantasy.
definitely. There's no question.
yeah, but that's where we get the
That's
laws of
interesting.
robotics from, and that absolutely flexes into the realm of AI. And
Hmm.
there's some. He
What?
was very forward thinking in his writing.
Yep.
Oh,
Isaac Asimov.
his name's Isaac. Okay, Isaac.
Yeah,
Isaac
but
Asimov.
that's
Yes.
my thing.
Wow.
Yeah, Isaac Asimov. I was Piers Anthony. I was who else? I'm trying to remember.
Okay, I've heard of him.
Yeah, Orson Scott Card. Really good.
No.
Yeah,
Nice.
but those were the type of books. I didn't read many books, but those I read.
Those were the books you read.
I didn't even.
Okay.
I was
that's
real bad.
good,
I didn't
though.
even read the required reading in school. I don't even know how I got by sometimes.
How
Oh
did you
man,
get by?
you
Because
I
it's
don't
you
even
make
know.
it
impossible.
so easy to rip on you. You make it so easy to rip on you.
I don't know. So some class I bullshitted my way through, and I don't know how I did it.
How?
But I did good.
Oh,
Cheating.
goodness.
I don't know if I call it cheating, but I just I was good at
Cheating
bullshit.
friends.
Ring ring.
You-
Who's that calling? It's the call of the wild.
Yo,
No, Neo,
What?
that's not the report. That's
that's
not
not
the
it. That's
report.
not
Neo.
it. You know, I think I did mess up a few of them, but I don't even know how I can't even tell you how I post them. Anyway, all right, let's get into some hot topics. Let's start off with you, Gianni. You want to talk about drugs?
Yes, yes. This is a heavier topic. So recently, this happened in Bronx, New York. A 1-year-old boy, his name's Nicholas Dominici. He actually passed away, and 3 other children were hospitalized after an opioid exposure. And this happened at a daycare center. So some days after that, the police discovered a trapdoor under the play area of the children that was concealing fentanyl and other drugs. The owner of the daycare center and her tenant were charged with murder, actually, in the little boy's death. They are facing federal charges. And if you don't know, New York is actually one of the few states that have drug consumption sites to try and limit the, I guess, the street action.
Mm-hmm.
So the area this young boy died in, the Bronx, has the same, on that same street has a drug consumption site there. And people say that the area is riddled with needles. Users are laid out on the ground, and seeing graphic things is not uncommon. But my question to you guys is, do supervised drug consumption sites in New York City make the city safer or contribute to this dire drug issue?
Now, I want to hear from Rob B first, simply because I know this was a topic that he had brought to us before. I'm curious what you think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, safe consumption sites and this tragedy at the daycare are two completely unrelated things.
Are they completely unrelated?
Yeah, they are, because, well, the safe consumption site isn't buying their, I guess, yeah. I mean, what it does, it provides an avenue for people to bring their drugs to the safe injection site where they can be tested. They can test them for purity, for fentanyl. So
Give them
I guess
information.
it does make sense
it's creating
to have
a neighborhood.
distribution.
It's creating a neighborhood of potential, drug addicts and
like a drugs town,
drug zone, not a drug-free zone, but a drug zone.
Drug zone, yeah.
Drug safe zone.
Sure.
Well, I mean, it's a safe injection zone, and it gives them the ability to test their stuff. So, yeah, I mean, it's multifaceted. It's not just going to be the injection site alone that's going to make things safer. So, has it contributed to what's happening in the neighborhood? Very possibly. Has it made it attractive for people to distribute their product in that general vicinity? Well, there's obviously a market that's coming through there, and accessibility. Right. I mean, location. Mm-hmm. If you're in sales, right? I mean, where do you go if you want to score drugs? You go to a Narcotics Anonymous meeting. It's simple as that. There's always going to be somebody looking to prey on it. It's
really,
unfortunately. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely an axiom in those circles. If a lot of people stay away from NA for that reason, because there are moles planted looking to sell you something, to lure you back, to see if you're going to have that moment of weakness, because they recognize that these are people who are struggling. But I guess it really does make sense that the drugs are there. But it's awful that it was in a daycare center. And I hope that these people get everything that's coming to them, because it makes no sense to endanger these young children. We've seen what fentanyl exposure can do to that police officer out of the back of the vehicle. Didn't even come into contact with it. He just got a blast of it when they opened the back of the vehicle, and darn near killed him. So, of course, a child that's 3 or less, it's not going to take a whole lot to put them in that state. So the fact that they thought that this was right, so it's just, it says a lot about our society that the daycare operator, the boyfriend, would say, yeah, hey, let's stash it here. No one's going to look for it at a daycare.
Of course.
My heart goes out to the family that lost the child, and my heart goes out to all the families whose children were affected by this, because there were a handful of them for sure. This is just, it's gross. It's disgusting. I hope that they throw these people into a deep, deep hole, and we never hear or see from them again.
Let me get back. So let me go back to the original question, Gianni. And I see Jacqueline Robinson's online. She says, didn't they try this in The Wire with Amsterdam? What happens to the quality of life for residents in those communities? These safe injection zones, I don't know if I'm a fan of them. I mean, I don't know if it's a solution to the problem being drugs and addiction. Of course, I don't want policing drugs and addiction, but at the same time, we've got to find a solution that works. These safe injection zones are just like a Band-Aid to a bigger problem. Criminalizing drugs, that didn't work. We tried that in the 80s, so you just say no to drugs. And then, of course, they're locking up all the black people. So,
and it was just a bunch of senseless, not even crimes really, and they were in jail,
Yeah,
incarcerated. So they're trying to
marijuana,
do it
for
a different
example.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how many black people were, put in jail just for marijuana possession? It was crazy, absolutely
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah.
So I know criminalizing it is not necessarily a solution. These safe injection zones don't seem to be a good solution. If we have children or neighborhoods with children being affected by them, or bringing in that element of people, then it's not a good thing. We can't say that that's working either. So
Yeah.
so then what's the solution? I mean, do any of us here have a solution to that?
I think just like many of the big, like, kind of issues, it takes multiple parties, multiple solutions. It's complicated. But I think that the direction that people can kind of go towards curbing this huge drug issue in New York is, one, how New York is set up is almost like New York is set up to like Manhattan, and there's boroughs. It's almost like they're forcing people to be in a certain area to kind of indulge in that kind of crime. And I know that you can choose where you want to live and stuff like that, but if you barely make, it's hard to get out of a city like that. It's hard to get out of smaller cities or inner cities. It's hard. But I think that, one, it is a political thing. I'm not saying like this big conspiracy, like drug lords are working with the government, but I think that there's a political reason as to why they're keeping those people in that situation. Now, daycare should have never been there. And I'm wondering why they
Shouldn't
even
be
have
near
the
a
consumption sites. Yeah, at
shouldn't be.
all. At all. Not even on the same street, block, or city. But I understand why they have the consumption sites in those areas, because that's where the drug users are. So it makes sense. But there just has to be a better place
Let me
to
let me be clear on one thing. So is it a safe injection site or is it a safe drug consumption site? Because I think those are two different
both.
things, right? It is both.
Oh, yeah, because some people inject and some people do drugs other ways.
Okay.
I think, from what I
So
understand,
they're
I
providing
think that's
needles
what
and
they
all that
mean.
stuff, and they can
Yeah,
just go there, do their
Mhm.
drugs, and then and do it legally, well, without being criminalized,
overdosing
and they can be
or
watched.
being criminalized. Yeah,
Well, that's it. Then they have access to clean needles. They have access to counselors. They have access to testing kits. It makes everything. And if they do have an episode, an overdose, they have access to medical teams on site rather than having to redistribute your medical teams, your paramedics and ambulances on on the fly in the community and expose them to the fentanyl risks. So there are definitely some benefits that go along with the safe injection sites, but as we're discussing here, there's definitely some negative elements that come around that, and how you fix that, I'm really not sure. I don't have
that's
those solutions.
difficult.
I am not.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, that's it. I don't write health policy. I don't do health and drug research, so I don't have the
yeah,
It kind of
solution.
reminds me of those opium rooms where in the old days,
Oh, the
where
opium dens.
the opium dens where they just lay
what is
back and they'd be
that?
smoking opium, and it was all legal, well, somewhat legal.
What?
Yeah, so it kind of reminds me of, that's what I'm thinking about when I
Hippie.
visualize what goes on in there. Of course, I know it's more sterile than
Yeah,
those
Yeah, I'm sure.
movie images
but I
that
mean,
we've seen.
there was a time when manufacturers could put a little pep in your soft
Mm,
drink.
Coca-Cola.
Mm.
That's crazy.
You want some
It is
Coke?
funny how we've come a
Literally.
long way from drugs like cocaine and these opiates being something that were like commonly used and not obviously criminalized, to now they're being criminalized, and they're being, like, the people that use them are strung out. Like, the people that use them, are their lives are completely ruined,
I mean, fentanyl's
for the most part.
crazy. I'm not really clear on why fentanyl is being. I know it's highly addictive, and so they're incorporating it in there
Oh no,
to
so
create.
fentanyl
Nobody
is
asked for
being
it.
is no nobody's asking for fentanyl. So this is an additive in the drug supply because it is more addictive. It gives them a bigger rush. Unfortunately, it kills off people, but I suppose when you're
A lot
looking
of
for a
people.
fix, you're not necessarily looking for quality control, you're looking for whatever's available. So
Yeah.
it's really harmful. It's a shame. And at the end of the day, the manufacturers don't care if they're going to kill an addict, they really don't care because they know that they're going to be able to fill those shoes. They know that there's going to be another person who's ready to
Horrible.
purchase that product behind them. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I think it just
It
comes down
says
to. Go ahead, Johnny.
no. I think one of the chief of police was saying that as for arresting low-level street dealers, they're basically asking to build bigger cases, and I think that's kind of
yeah.
BS too. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like, oh, I think that we're past the days of, oh, I have to sell drugs to feed my family. I don't know. I
Oh,
Let me
think that
ask
we're
you, do you
we're
past
not
think
those
it would
past
be
days.
those
better?
days. No.
Let me ask you, do you think it would be better if we legalize drugs altogether and then, um, maybe had the FDA regulate them or some regulation on, because that way
All
you could
drugs?
be testing drugs regularly, right? Make sure they don't have the
Mhm.
additives like fentanyl and stuff like that. Because they do the same thing for cigarettes, right? Eventually they'll get to the same thing with marijuana, where they're regulating it and testing it and making sure it's the proper quality. And then you can start,
Right.
if you start doing that, then you can start arresting these dealers that are doing the illegal drugs. And that way you
The
can kind of start to,
bootleggers.
yeah, you can start to eliminate the illegal drugs because you can get legal drugs. What do you think, John?
Mhm.
I think that who does that benefit? The government, because they're going to
Benef-
get rich off of it. I don't.
Benefits
It
I
these
don't think
benefits
neighborhoods,
it
these
it
benefits.
children.
benefits the it benefits the consumer because if they choose to ingest these products and now they are government tested and approved, then fantastic. You know that you're getting a quality product as opposed to getting a street product. I know that when I petitioned to my doctor for my medicinal carrying card prior to the legalization of marijuana in Canada, I advocated for myself, and one of those advocacies was that I had zero quality control over what I was purchasing during my time of replenishment. So I could be
Oh
getting
wow.
skunk weed from behind somebody's house. I could be getting high test weed from BC. I could be getting something that's laced with speed or cocaine. I
Oh
don't
my God.
know. So
Yeah.
I mean, when you
now
start
by
to
having
realize,
something that's government regulated,
Mhm.
that has quality control, I can go to a dispensary and I can purchase with confidence a product that I know has been tested and approved. And I agree with Neo that eventually this is going to go out to other narcotics because the way we've
I
been going
mean,
about it
that's
isn't working. So then what you do is you protect people from themselves.
yeah, and that's really what I was thinking. I was like, it's the same thing with alcohol. They tried to, you know, because
yeah.
alcohol
That's
is not necessarily good for you, right? It's not good
It's a
for you,
known
no,
carcinogen, dude. It's a known
definitely
addictive.
not.
That's
right? And
Yeah, it's
so
not good for you.
when they tried to regulate it, people wanted to do it anyway because it's addictive, right? And so it makes them feel good and all those great things. So trying to
Right.
battle that is a losing battle. And we've seen it time and
yeah.
time again. War on drugs, losing battle. We lost. All of those battles against addictive chemicals and drugs is a losing battle. So, as Rob B
100.
was saying, people are going to do it. At least we solve a problem, meaning we can kind of eliminate impurities like fentanyl, where they're killing themselves and killing other people like children, right? And so we can kind of control some of that at least, because right now there's no
Yeah.
controls on these illegal drugs. We have no
None.
controls.
None.
But if we put controls in on legal drugs, then it's something to
There's
consider.
something to at least. But the thing is, like,
And
I've noticed with fentanyl, besides like the people catching it and dying from it, it's I mean not catching it, but like finding it. There are a lot of like young teenagers that are dying
Mhm.
from it. And I'm like, what drug are
mhm.
they taking that they're getting laced with fentanyl? Yeah, but what
Anything
else?
that's powdered, dude.
Pills?
Anything powdered,
It,
yeah.
if they're crushing Xanax, it like anything,
Mhm.
because they're buying it from a
Who knows?
disreputable source.
Mhm.
And a drug manufacturer to crush a pill or to stamp a pill, to press it and stamp it with the Xanax label, no problem.
Yeah.
It's done.
That's sick. That's so sick.
So let's
And they're
see.
so young.
Jacqueline Robinson says, "This is why I can't take all the political shrieking about fentanyl allegedly coming across the border. The real issue is supply and demand, and wait for it, demand. Oh, so supply and wait for it, demand. But
Right.
they won't talk about that. Mike Winter says, if you would read, sir, you would know that this is what Oregon has tried to do.
Oh, what you
Legalize.
just suggested?
Legalize and regulate. Yeah.
I didn't know Oregon. I didn't even know they were having issues.
So the question is, are they successful? Are they being successful with it? That I'm not aware of.
That's true. That's something that we could look into. I mean, this is a community thing too, though, because why are people on drugs? Like, I know that's a dumb question to ask, but it's like, it's a deeper rooted thing. It's a deeper rooted thing. Besides, like, oh, all of these legal bans, maybe there's a systemic thing where, yeah, we somehow get them off of drugs and then they do some kind of like healing thing. I don't know. I'm just trying to come up with alternatives.
That would work. I mean, but that definitely hasn't worked. I mean, but
We never tried it.
People do drugs. If only there was just one reason, Johnny. If only there was just one reason why people did drugs.
I know. Fair enough.
Know, I just think we need comprehensive reform.
Trauma is the main reason.
Education, accessible treatment. We got to get people when they're young.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Is this truth? Lies,
shenanigans? This is sad, but it is true.
Truth.
Some sad truth, man.
Humanity is what it is.
Yes.
You guys see it.
It is.
Right.
Yes, it is.
Got to do something about it.
Yeah.
And I noticed Mike Winter repeated, you should read up on that.
Like, you should probably do that and see what
read. I think he's making reference to our earlier comment about reading.
Neo.
All right.
At least you can read the article.
we got to take a quick minute to remind our audience to check out our network of podcasts, Pods Network. It's not your average run-of-the-mill podcast network. It's the go-to spot for podcasts on the rise. And for those of you looking to switch up your listening game, don't miss out on podcasts like Wrestling with Heart with our guest today, Stanley Carr. You definitely want to tune into Undiagnosed with Hillary England. Let's not forget Sister Sesh podcast. There's something for every mood. Inspiring podcasts, curious listeners. That's the whole vibe at Pods, P-O-D-Z Network. When we wrap up here, Shenanigans, head over to podsnetwork.com. Dive into some fresh episodes. You won't regret it. I promise. All right. Let's get into our next hot topic.
Truth, lies, shenanigans.
All right. And some of you may remember that viral video of a monkey playing Pong with its mind. Yeah, that was Neuralink, a company owned by Elon Musk, who of course is the one who bought Twitter and turned it into X. Well, the video shows the monkey named Pager. He's shown using a chip implanted in his brain to control the game of Pong, which was amazing. I mean, I was absolutely amazed when I saw it. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I mean, we're going to be able to have brain implants. But Elon Musk himself claimed that all of these monkeys were terminally ill. And so they were testing on terminally ill monkeys. But Neuralink has been under fire from not just one, but multiple sources. First off, medical ethics group says that 15 out of 17 of the monkeys implanted with the Neuralink chips died from complications from the chip. Now, these monkeys just didn't pass away. They suffered from bloody diarrhea, severe brain swelling, paralysis, and some were basically scratching their brains out. And
that's sick.
Even Neuralink staff themselves have raised concerns about rush testing procedures causing unnecessary suffering, and reports of approximately 1,500 animals, including monkeys, pigs, and sheep, that have died since 2018. So initially, people were excited about the prospect, saying that, wireless brain signals are an innovative step. The question is, at what cost? Animal welfare groups are calling the experiments grotesque and driven by nothing more than curiosity, Elon Musk's curiosity. I want y'all to chime in. So do the monkeys just have to pay the price for our technological advancements? Or is it time to say enough is enough? Save the monkey. Let's start with
That's
Johnny.
crazy.
What do you think? You want to save the monkeys?
First and foremost, always save the monkeys.
Always.
Always save the monkeys.
Always save the
Always.
monkeys.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
well, that's interesting.
Yeah, let me give you my point of view. I think because, and monkeys, rats, birds, everything has been tested for years. We all know that. We've learned that in school. They've been testing on them forever. And I've always thought it was sick. I think that I understand that we don't know of an alternative for testing besides volunteers, like human volunteers. But we're in 2023. There's not like a makeshift or a make-believe or a dummy type of like clone body that you guys can do this on. Like, does it have to be living animals that are not terminally ill? It was found out that he's lying. They're not terminally ill. They're actually, it was fabricated. It's evil. Like these poor animals. But no, I think that we should find an alternative. I think that we can. There's
You
plenty of
think
people
human
that like
testing
Elon Musk.
before like animal testing? That's what you think?
Go ahead.
Straight to human testing.
Not children. Not children, like consented adults. Yeah.
Just straight to them. What about mice?
Absolutely.
What about rats?
No. Sorry.
No testing on any
Leave
animals.
the creatures alone. Yeah, leave the creatures alone. I think because we don't have a say. We didn't create them.
You know how many
didn't
products
create
you're
them.
using right now that have been tested on all of those
Wow.
animals?
I try to make sure it
Yeah.
says cruelty free. I swear.
Okay, no.
I try to make sure it says
dude.
animal cruelty free. And I
Okay.
know that I
But-
eat meat. I know, but I still think it's wrong. I mean, I don't care. I think
No,
that they
but
shouldn't
Hold on,
test
before you
Johnny,
say,
what
Robbie,
Neo's
before you-
alluding to
Wait,
here.
Robbie, hold on. So Mike Winter makes a good point here. He says there's no dichotomy there. This is what they did on black people as well. Testing on lesser beings is not okay. I mean, he's making your point, but with that being said, the inevitability of it is that they're still going to test on lesser people, and it's going to be what they consider lesser at the time. I'm sorry, Robbie, go ahead.
Yeah. No, like what Neo was alluding to as far as products that you get to enjoy because of the animal experimentation, Johnny, just to give you a few, okay? Your basic vaccines, antibiotics, insulin. How many diabetics do you know, Johnny, that would be dead because of if we hadn't had this animal experimentation? Organ transplants, cancer treatments, HIV/AIDS medications, anesthesia, cochlear implants, treatments for hemophilia. The list goes on and on and on. So
That's horrible.
the ultimate goal, yeah, but Johnny, I get it. I understand where you're coming from.
That's
But
really
even when you
sad,
said-
though.
But when you said experimenting on clones, now
Well,
that brings about the ethics.
Whoa.
That brings about the ethics of cloning.
Wait.
That-
So you would rather
that's a
hold on.
slippery
First of all-
Hold on. So
Wait a minute.
somehow I missed the mention of clones. She said clones. I missed
She
that.
said that she would be okay with experimenting on human clones.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
understand. So you understand that we're creating humans to then test on humans. We're creating them. So basically, you're creating babies and children, and they grow up or whatever, and then they're tested on or whatever. But you won't test on rats and mice.
No. The
But you're
difference
okay
is,
with you're okay with
Yes.
farming humans and then testing on them.
I don't think it's okay. I said as an alternative, okay, so we're picking the lesser of the evils. So
You
since
think farming humans is the lesser of killing rats?
Whoa!
Do you
Mice
eat
and
meat? Hold on. Do you
rats
eat
are
meat, Johnny?
absolutely the lesser.
Do you eat meat?
No, because farming animals. Sorry. Go ahead.
Do you eat meat? I just want to know. Do you eat meat?
Yes.
I cannot even hear you right now.
That's why I said it's some bias, but at the same time, I mean, it's some contradiction, but at the same time, I don't think it's right to kill animals or experiment on them. A bird, a hummingbird, a caterpillar, leave them alone. I think that if
But you
you're
would
farming
eat them.
animals,
Okay, it's okay.
But to put it
I
in
don't eat
context,
caterpillars.
Johnny, so Dolly the sheep, who was a very popular icon because it was the first successfully cloned sheep,
yeah, I remember that.
was a
Me and Olivia.
success after 277 failed attempts. And Dolly's health deteriorated greatly over
I know
7
that.
years and needed to be euthanized. So
Yeah.
You would put humans
while
through
you're
that.
yeah, so animal experimentation has always played a significant role throughout history in advancing human medical science, and it's contributed to many, many important discoveries and treatments. But the question of whether it's required to advance medical science is
No.
always it's an ongoing debate, Johnny. It is an ongoing debate with deep ethical implications that are a matter of concern for a lot of people. It really is a big deal. I
Me
totally
too.
get it, Johnny. But as far as whether or not Elon Musk is operating in an ethical fashion, I mean, let's be completely honest. This guy is like Hank Scorpio brought to life. He's got a satellite
I don't know
network
who
over the
Hank
planet.
Scorpio is.
He,
It sounds
when
funny.
Homer Simpson goes to work for
Oh,
a nuclear power plant, and it's Hank Scorpio. It's basically like a real life self-made supervillain type thing. But he's got
Okay.
his satellite network. He's got rocket propulsion systems with landing capability. He's got a fleet of 160,000 self-driving cars already out in the network, and now he's
Okay.
developing neural implant technology that's controlled wirelessly. Satellite network, neurological implants, self-driving cars. Like, I really don't know that ethics is his main focus. And
It's not.
I would not want to be a whistleblower because that would be a quick way to become a human volunteer, Johnny. And no,
there,
thank you.
there is a plan to go to human trials next. By the way.
With paraplegics. Yeah.
Oh my. See, I can't.
But
It's
wait,
just getting weird.
but there is a
It's getting
value
crazy.
to it, though. You have to understand there
But
is.
Johnny, it's going to the paraplegic community after the
This
animal
is getting
testing.
crazy.
So it's going to kill fewer
Wow.
paraplegics because it killed a bunch of monkeys.
I think I'm just
It-
more, and it's crazy because I'm younger than you guys, but I feel like I'm just so shocked at how quickly technology is like literally taking over every aspect of our lives, what we know, our world. And yeah, we're talking about the animals, but even like how you're saying with paraplegics, like we've seen movies where the paraplegics just have like a automated arm. Like it's just crazy how fast it's happening. This whole
And it
technological
wouldn't happen without rats
era.
and monkeys
Mhm.
and testing on them.
They're
I just
gonna
wanna-
find a different way.
I just want to
They're
point
gonna
out a
find a different way.
conversation that's happening online. So Mike Winter says test on. He says kill all the rats. Test on Alf. Alf being Trump. And Jacqueline
kill the
Robbins says, Mike
rats.
Winter, can you imagine the lack of brain matter? Trying to test brain Neuralinks on Trump.
You're so dumb.
Right. I mean, as far as I agree with.
You should volunteer.
So I'm not happy about the results of the tests because part of the problem is it's Musk, and Musk does whatever the hell he wants to do, however the hell he wants to do it, when he wants to do it, and that's a
Right.
problem for me because there's a lack of oversight. There's nobody watching what he's doing. There's no regulations that he's following. He's not held accountable, so he can treat these animals as horrible as he wants to, no problem. Now, should animal testing go away? Hell no. No.
Yes.
And as long as we're eating animals, I don't mind if
stop.
we test on the animals and then eat them, So if you're
Mhm.
gonna die, if they're gonna
No,
die anyway, right? I mean, test on all the pigs you want because you make bacon later, right? So
Oh.
You're crazy. And then all of their blood and intestines are all messed up. No, I'll pass.
I'm just saying. I'm just
Ew.
saying we're killing more animals for food than we're killing for these technological
we are.
advancements.
Johnny, you're
Yeah.
eating genetically modified animals when
Good
you're
point.
eating meat. You already
Ew.
are eating genetically
Remind
modified
me.
animals.
Yeah.
Well,
But I
just
do.
be
I
honest
will
with
say this.
yourself.
It's true. No, it's true. But I will say this. I have, as an adult, made a conscious choice to stop eating as much meat. It's just hard because I feel like I never was taught an alternative. So I'm trying to figure that out. But I really, like, it's so embedded in me that I feel like I really even want to stop eating meat or animal products. I'm being serious. This is disgusting. I mean, it's sad. It's really sad. But everybody has.
You're an omnivore. Eating meat products is not sad. It's not something
We're-
that's foreign to you. It's what you're hardwired to do. You're an omnivore.
Born and raised.
Mike Winter
Yeah.
said Gianni ain't eating them chitlins.
No. I'll pass on the chitlins. I'll pass on the
I'll
chitlins.
pass
I don't
too.
care
That's a
how
hard pass.
crispy.
Nice.
I'm all about it. They can.
They
They can.
smell weird.
I don't want them treating these monkeys as horrible as they have been, but at the same time,
Imagine scratching your skull.
it will help a lot of people in the long run if they're able to be successful with these Neuralink things.
We're all gonna.
Because we'll all be able to play video games. I'm
People just wanna.
I'm joking.
You're crazy.
I'm joking. I'm just joking. But it will help people who are disabled and be able to help
Oh
them.
my gosh.
Because can you imagine if someone's able to move things around with their mind? I mean, like you said, being able to
navigate a cursor on a computer screen so that you can communicate. So be able to control it with your mind so that you can navigate elements of your life to have that independence.
Yeah.
You can do your online shopping on your own. You can order services that you need on your own. That level of independence, it comes at a cost, unfortunately.
So hundreds of baby
I'd rather
monkeys
the monkeys
had to
pay
die.
the cost. Yes, monkeys gonna.
So
pay.
hundreds of
It's
had
the
to
same-
scratch their skull out to get you to write without hands. Okay.
But I will say.
I mean, I get it. I get it.
But I will say I will say, Johnny, to your point about clones, that's exactly what they're doing is farming monkeys. I mean, you said clones, they're farming, so they would be farming humans, but they're farming monkeys. These monkeys would not have otherwise existed if not for breeding them for these purposes. So it's the same process, just different species.
Okay.
So cloning is not the way to go.
No, it's not.
No.
It wasn't. You guys just picked on me about that one. It's not. I just was telling you the alternative.
You just like you're like just not the monkeys. I get you. All right.
It's not the money.
All right. Is this true? Lies.
Shenanigans.
This is disgusting.
Elon's shenanigans.
That was it.
I'm,
An option.
See, because this is truth, right? Because I want it to happen, but it's shenanigans because it's Elon. Elon is just
like
Elon. I can't buy into a lot of stuff Elon's doing. I mean, there was a time when I appreciated Elon and all the stuff he was doing for advancements, and then when you start to understand his the reasons behind why he's doing what he's doing, it's really narcissistic. So
self-aggrandizing.
yeah. Mike Winter says, remember the hypocrisy of Nancy Reagan hating stem cell testing until Ronnie needed it to cure Alzheimer's. And he also threw in, oh, wait, you probably don't because you don't read.
He's got you.
Dang, Mike Winter, I thought you had missed that.
Absolutely. Politics and hypocrisy and how they changed their stances on things when Cheney's daughter came out as gay, how that changed him. Overnight, all of a sudden, it's like love is love.
Oh, yeah.
And
we love gay people now.
These politicians need that kind of adversity in their life that challenges their worldview so they can become more empathetic creatures.
So when do they? What do they need to start changing on guns?
Dude, I don't want to wish that kind of evil on them, but I mean, you know, if you're the victim of a gun tragedy, But
all right, let's get into our next hot topic. Rob B, you're talking about art that may not exactly be art.
Art is subjective. The Kunsten Museum of Modern Art in Denmark asked artist Jens Honing to recreate two of his earlier pieces from the 2010s called An Average Danish Annual Income and An Average Austrian Annual Income. In those original works, they were featured because the frames were full of the Danish krone and euro bills representing the yearly wages of Danish and Austrian workers. So for the recreation of these pieces that he was commissioned to do, the museum gave him $84,000 in Danish kroner. And when the artworks arrived at the museum, they were surprised to find two blank canvases with no money on them, collectively titled, Take the Money and Run. So when they asked for a refund just to fulfill the contract, the artist's response was, this is only a piece of art and I don't return the money. So, my friends, is this art or is this theft?
So,
funny.
is this art? I think it's both.
What do you think? Yeah.
And I say
You think
that
it was a crime?
well, I say that because I think his intention was to take the money. But he found a very artistic and creative way to do it. Right? I mean it's about and it's
That's
about the
funny.
so this guy, what is his Hanning is his name? Hanning?
Hunting. Yes.
Hanning?
Honey.
He was apparently known for challenging norms, right? And so this is what they paid him to do, challenge the norms. And if taking their money and stealing their money and then calling it art is not normal, then okay, whatever. On top of that, from what I understand, the museum actually displayed it, the two canvases,
Yeah,
as
they
art.
did.
So obviously it's art. They just weren't happy with, maybe, what they got out of it. Maybe they were expecting something more. And I get it. They had
They
this
were
written agreement.
expecting the bills that they gave him to create the art to be in the frames.
Well, he used them.
He literally used. I mean, I thought that this was hilarious. I feel like it was very funny. I mean, I thought that this actually I thought it was the opposite of what Neo said. How he thought it was like a crime, and then I think it was artistic on purpose because artists are known to like push boundaries and kind of like mingle their own expression with whatever cultural issues are going on at the time. Like, okay, he took the money. That's how we're all feeling, right? Like, I'm gonna take the money. Like, that's how you feel. So I understand his expression, or I understand in my own way his take on the art. I don't think it was a crime. They shouldn't have given him that money. I don't think I don't think it was a crime for him to
I
take
mean,
it.
when you give
Okay,
someone,
but Johnny, the art, the bills were the materials for the job. So if you commissioned someone to build you a house and you provided them with the materials and you showed up and there was only a foundation poured for your home, but they titled it cheeky, they called it the take the money and run estate. Would you feel like you got ripped
you weren't
off
commissioning the
and would
building of a house.
but you provided the materials for something to be created, and they took those materials, and in this instance it was
But that's
money.
what art is
They
about.
kept it.
Art is about, an
He's an
individual's
artist, though.
an individual's sense of
Create
what is
something
creative.
with this stack of money.
And he
That
did
was
nothing.
Disappeared, right?
He
Like, that's an
created
option.
an
That's
art
what
piece.
makes it.
I'm
That's
not.
what I thought. I was
I
like,
think it's.
that's
I
what
think
makes
it's.
it funny.
I think it's. Like I say, I think it's both because I think his intent was to just take the money and use the money for himself because he may have needed the money, but he still provided an art piece. Because I mean, think about it. We're talking about it.
We
Lots
are.
of people are talking about it. So the museum
They
is
probably
getting
had
its money's
visitors.
worth. Plus,
I'm
I think
sure.
didn't they lose? I mean, didn't they win the court case? Is there a court case?
Yeah, they're not getting all of it back.
They're not getting all of it. Okay.
No, they're not.
And I understand the
Oh,
institution. The museum was not like a wealthy institution. It's not like Smithsonian or something like that. I mean, it's kind of a
Right.
it's a low level museum. Didn't have a lot of money, and apparently they said it was
my
earmarked for upkeep.
if you have an opportunity, check out their website. They have some incredible pieces on display,
Okay.
past and present. It's absolutely worth checking out their online gallery.
Yeah, so they're not
Nice.
but they're trying to do their thing, and so giving it $84,000 is probably a lot for them. I get that.
And actually, that money was sourced from a variety of different museums, so it was crowdsourced. Hey, let's get all this money
wow.
together so that we can crowdsource these pieces. And exactly, I mean, we're talking about it right now, and it's part of his deliberate intent to make an artistic statement
Yeah.
to challenge the traditional notions of art, the value in exchange. So he took the money and presented blank canvases instead of the traditional artwork. So it forced them to really ask the question about what the true value of art is. I know that he also wanted to make a statement about the reduced earning power of the average European family just in this global economy, because since the 2010s,
Right.
the economic landscape has changed considerably. So to
Yeah,
recreate
yeah.
it, to say, okay, well, what we have today is nothing compared to what we had
Yep.
15 years ago. All right,
So if I
that's a
understand,
statement in and of
That's how
itself.
I saw it. That's how I saw it.
But I don't know. I think it would have been a louder statement if he would have incorporated some of it. And rather than take the money for himself, then, maybe donate it to
but then he couldn't title
some
it "Take
family
the Money and
charities or
Run."
food banks.
Yeah, it doesn't go with the. It
Yes, you
doesn't go
can,
with the
because
intent.
Robin Hood stole from the rich and gave to the poor. So he took the money and ran, but he just gave it back to who needed it. So
Fair
don't
enough.
give me that.
Yeah.
Don't give me
Fair
that.
enough. Fair enough. All right,
That is fair.
that's a good
Fair enough.
argument. All right. I mean, but I want
That's
to just
true. I
point out
can't
from
really.
you. So were the bills, the entire 84,000, were supposed to be put onto the artwork, all of it, and he was
Yeah,
supposed to get no
all of
money
the
out of
money.
it?
Well, no, he was going. I think I can't remember
I
what it
think he's
was, but
commissioned.
he was commissioned to do the piece, and he was provided with those materials. I don't know what the compensation was, but that's what the value of the banknotes were.
Okay.
So, yeah.
The museum CEO said that a work in its own right has been created, but he also
True.
says that wasn't the deal.
No,
Yeah.
that wasn't the deal, man. That wasn't the deal.
All right. Mike Winter says, I would have painted the finger in the middle. Actually, that probably would have been a better piece of work.
I know.
Right?
At least we would have kind of understood.
Or
If you
rearranging
didn't read
some of the
into it, you would
bills.
have been
Right?
confused.
Arranging the bills so that they give you that illusion of reading between the
Yeah.
lines.
Or even $1 to like make it like campy. I don't know. I just feel like how they. I just feel like how he
Yeah.
did it was funny.
Yeah. All right.
It's
Interesting
definitely interesting, and we are talking about it.
Shenanigans again.
This
Yeah,
is
we are.
truth, lies, shenanigans.
I
Truth
don't know,
and
guys.
shenanigans.
It's shenanigans.
I think it's art
Shenanigans,
piece,
yeah.
but I think he was.
Neil's
some
like, I don't know.
shenanigans.
I think he was plotting on it.
But it is art. He did provide
It
some
is.
art.
Made a statement of expression. Did his thing.
All right, guys, let's get into our game show. Some fun topics today, guys.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
All right, today's game, in honor of my topic from Musk's Neuralink, is monkey trivia. We're going to find out what you know about monkeys and apes and primates.
I heart monkeys.
All right. Real simple. We'll each get a question. You get it right, you get a point. Person with the most points wins the game and the final thought. All right. We have a question here already showing approximately how many species of primate are there. The answer was 300.
Crazy.
Wow. All right. 300 species. How many species of human are
I could tell you at least 5. No, I'm kidding.
there? Oh, at least 5 species. All right.
Yeah, of humans.
All right. Which one of these is not a great ape? A human, an orangutan, a siamang, or a bonobo? A great ape.
Whoa.
Who's this
Who is it?
for?
Oh, I'm sorry. Rob B's first.
Oh, that's for me. So the siamang is not a great ape.
So you're saying the humans
What?
are a great ape? Siamang.
Yes, we are.
No, we are not.
Yes, we are a higher order of.
Why would they
Yeah.
classify
Rob
us?
B is
Because
absolutely
that's what
correct.
we are.
Humans,
We're not a special
orangutans,
creation.
bonobos are all great apes along
What?
with gorillas and chimpanzees.
Gibbons.
Sick.
Siamangs are gibbons classified as lesser apes.
Yep.
Maybe those are the people, those are what they should be.
Shut up, Dio.
That's who they should be
Leave the
experimenting on.
skin
Right,
alone.
Gianni?
Oh,
No.
no.
Don't go there.
I
Too
told you,
soon.
not even the caterpillar, not even the meerkat.
Not even a caterpillar. All right. All right. Which island is the only place, this is for Gianni, the only place that lemurs can be found? Lemurs are
Oh.
endemic to this island. This means they can be found there and nowhere else. Is it Madagascar, Mauritius, or the Maldives?
I know this.
Any of those places. And I thought that was a meerkat.
These are lemurs, are endemic to this island, Madagascar, Mauritius, or Maldives.
I know it because I watched the movie, the cartoon, Madagascar.
Oh,
Ah,
there you go. Nice, Gianni. Good job. Madagascar is correct. Island in the Indian Ocean off the coast of Mozambique. All right, and this is
Okay.
from me. All right. Which is the only venomous primate?
Oh my God.
The slow iorus, the galago, or the aye aye?
Ooh.
I really don't even know. I'm gonna go with the venomous. I'm going with the aye aye
Yeah.
because they just look venomous.
it's
That
the
is
slow loris, my friend.
incorrect.
The slow loris.
Slow
What?
iorus is venomous. I knew it had to be one of those two. I know it's not the galago. I knew them. It was 50-50 chance. So slow iorus secrete a toxin from a gland in the crook of their arms. Although they're known as venomous, the secretions may in fact induce an allergic reaction, not toxicosis. Their bites will cause a painful swelling due to them licking this gland, but the only known human death from a slow iorus bite is attributed to anaphylactic.
Oh,
Oh.
interesting.
Interesting. Jinx.
So we're all learning something. All right, so let's see. If you both get this wrong, I'm still in the game. So let's see.
I got this. I know this already.
Darn it. After which distinctive feature is the proboscis monkey named?
Proboscis.
No clue.
The proboscis monkey is aptly named
It's
after
pot belly,
its nose.
its
Not
nose,
pot belly,
or its long tail.
Its nose.
Its nose. Let's see.
Aw.
That is correct, Robbie. All right. These monkeys are named after their unusually large noses. It is theorized that females may select males with larger noses as mates, as it increases the volume of their vocalizations, and females prefer these louder calls.
Louder call. Interesting.
Okay. Learning something.
I
All right,
forgot
Johnny.
about those.
All right. You're the only chance we have of keeping Rob from winning the final thought for the show again.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So you got to get this right.
I got this.
Since I missed mine. All right.
50-50.
Chimpanzees and bonobos are closely related and look very similar. Can you identify the bonobo from these two pictures? Oh,
Yeah, of course. The one on the A.
A?
A.
That is correct.
Yes.
That is correct. Bonobos are generally more slender than chimpanzees and have darker faces and bright pink lips. All right.
Yeah.
This is just between Rabi and Gianni.
All right.
Let's see. I am out of it. All right, Rabi. This animal is the world's smallest primate with an average body length of just 3.6 inches. What is it commonly known as? A Philippine tarsier, a pygmy marmoset, or Madame Berthay's mouse lemur?
What?
Pygmy marmoset.
I'm pretty sure that's
Nope.
right. That is wrong.
Answer.
A
Wrong.
mouse lemur.
Answer.
Ever cool.
It's a mouse lemur. Scientific name for the Madame Berthay's mouse lemur is
Madame Bert's mouse lemur.
Microcebus berthae. It commonly weighs just 30 grams. All right, Johnny.
Well, good luck, Johnny.
This is your big chance here.
This is my time.
All right.
Okay.
A wide teeth-barred grin is a teeth-bared grin is a signifier of what emotion in chimpanzees? Happiness, boredom, fear, or sadness?
A wide teeth bared grin. I think happiness. Or boredom. What is it, Rob? Oh, happiness. I need to know.
Oh, that
Fear.
is incorrect.
Wrong.
That is
Same as a dog.
hard.
I would have guessed happiness too. All
No,
right.
they bare their teeth just like a dog would. When a dog bares its teeth, you have to kind of go, ooh,
All right.
back off. It is fear.
Be aware that the smiling chimps that you commonly see on greeting cards are far from happy, and that they are often scared into making these expressions for photo shoots. You can help these animals by not buying items showing these fearful expressions.
Oh my goodness.
A relaxed and happy chimpanzee will be sitting calmly with their lower lip hanging loosely. Interesting.
That's horrible. That's
All right.
very interesting.
We're going to
though.
do
Never
one
know.
more question, and
All right.
we're going to see who
Winner
gets it
take
right.
all.
Winner take all between the two of you. I'm out. Which of these is the only entirely carnivorous primate? The capuchin monkey, the mandrill, the tarsier, or the chimpanzee? Gianni, you go first.
Ooh, I think it's the mandrill. I remembered those on that movie.
Entirely carnivorous primate. Robbie?
That means all meat, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mandrill.
Johnny's going with mandrill. I'm going to go with the tarsier then.
You picked the cutest monkey. Watch it be the right answer,
cutest
too.
one.
Because
He looks like a
he's just going
frog.
to eat bugs and lizards.
You are correct, Robbie. You are absolutely correct.
No, you're lying.
Tarsiers are the only extant, what is it? Extant
Rob got
entirely
go.
carnivorous
Not-
primate, being primarily insectivorous, but
He's
also
cheating.
preying on birds, snakes, lizards, and bats. Although chimpanzees are known to eat meat occasionally, including monkeys and bush pigs, they mainly eat fruits and
lying.
leaves. Oh my God, Robbie, you win the
Uh-huh.
game.
No
Oh
way.
my
Look on monkey
God.
phonics. Look on monkey phonics.
Robbie
so
again.
confident. What? Ah,
We cannot beat Robbie.
he's unbeatable. I'm gonna get you, Rob. Last show. Watch.
All right, let's start with Robbie.
Oh man, I'm gonna
That's
give a shout out
crazy.
to Mike Winter for being in the sidelines and man, making me laugh tonight. Thanks, brother. Much appreciated.
That's Mike.
Forget Mike Winter. Forget Mike Winter. We don't care about Mike Winter. All right, John.
Shout out to this one Facebook group that helped me actually learn or figure out what to do to rescue the kittens, and they were super supportive
Oh,
in tracking down the rescuers. So shout out to that Facebook group in Georgia Rescue Group,
You don't know the name. That's funny.
something like that.
Georgia Rescue. All right. We'll find them. We'll find them somewhere. All right.
Yeah. Link.
And my shout out goes to our fourth Lizzie, who is still recovering. Hoping you continue to get better. Wishing you the best. All right. Oh, and a happy birthday again to Jose. Robbie's wife.
Just to, you know.
All right, that is officially all the time we have for today's show. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. I hope you learned something, gained a new perspective, or simply had some laughs. I know we learned a lot about monkey, and we laughed a lot too. Look for us live again next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and look for our official audio episode this Friday. Just keep in mind, we have one episode left until the end of the season. So check us out. Apple Podcasts, podsnetwork.com, that's pods with a Z, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Rob B, close us out with another
Cheater.
final thought.
A mess. That's
like
crazy.
a cozy sweater on a chilly autumn day, find comfort in the love and support of those around you.
Oh, I love that.
Rob.
Very nice, Robbie. All right, thank you, Robbie. Thank you, Gianni. Most importantly, we need to thank you for listening to our shenanigans each and every week. We'll see you next week for our last show of the season.